is Camry, and I just got laid off 4 weeks ago as of today. Thought I would kind of share my journey on finding employment as a single mom of a 5-year-old little girl. She just turned 5. To start off, the company was a sister company to another company that makes and creates windows. The owners of the two companies were the dads, and the dad of the company that I was working for only had 2 employees. So it was the dad's son, and then he hired another girl that's been working there for about 5 years now as like an office assistant to help him with like the customer service side of things. So I came in as like an office assistant. Basically, what I would be doing is just helping her with anything that needed to be completed. Along the job, I kind of just learned that I was taking over primarily everything that she was doing, so all her job duties, and her job title was office manager, but she got paid salary, and I came in as hourly. And during the interview, I didn't know that I was going to be taking over all of her responsibilities. To me, an office assistant is helping the manager with anything that they're not able to complete or with other tasks, basically just anything an assistant would do. That's what I thought I was coming in as starting as. There for about a month and a half. I started December 10th, and then they laid me off February 3rd. The shitty part about all this is that my birthday was that following weekend. And so it's just like I was looking forward to my birthday weekend. I was starting that week off. It was a Monday when I got laid off. I was starting that week with a fresh new week, good week, clear mindset. I worked 9:30 to 3, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then Fridays I worked 9:30 to 1. Those were the early days. Tuesdays I had off. So it happened on a Monday. I was just going into work. It was like a normal day. Logging into the computer, said hi to her, in, and then my head boss, the manager that's above both of us, came into the office, said hi. He couldn't really look at me, which I thought was kind of weird because normally he either sits down and starts a conversation or looks at me, but he kind of just came in, said hi, didn't really look at me, and then just walked straight out. But I didn't pay no mind to it. I wasn't thinking that of anything of it. I was just like, okay. Um, but yeah, and so then I logged into my computer. First thing I usually do every day is just check my emails to see if I have any new orders to process. Usually, the office manager, which is the other girl that I work with, works really close with our boss. She'll send me orders to create and enter, and things like that. So I checked my emails. I think I had like 2 orders in there. And then I had another email that was basically, it said I had a meeting with her and then our head boss, which is the guy that came in and said hi. And I thought it would just be like a follow up. I'm like, oh, maybe they just want to follow up and see how things are going, see if there's anything that I need help with, or just like a checkup. And that was at like 3 p.m. And so it was like 9:30, 9:45 ish when I saw that email. Another guy that is his brother that works for the company as well. He got pulled into a meeting as well, but he got pulled into a meeting before I did. And I know they were talking a couple weeks ago about how they need more sales from him. They noticed that he wasn't bringing in as many doors as he usually was. So I knew that they were planning on having a talk with him about that. So they had a talk with him. When I first went into the meeting, they were both just sitting down. I went and sat down. I just thought, once again, I just thought it was going to be like a follow up on how I was doing because I hit my 1 month mark on the 9th and then I was going on 2 months. So February 9th would have been my 2 month mark. So a month and a half is how long I've been there. Um, but yeah, so they just started off the meeting with just saying how great I was doing, how they appreciate that I'm here helping them and getting things done, and how they appreciate that I'm a fast learner and catching on to things. And so I thought it was going off for a good start. And then they started going into saying about how they were doing really good as a team, like bringing in a lot of money in the beginning. When they first posted this position, the office assistant position, which was my position, how they were doing really good, and they assumed that they were going to just keep on going up in sales and bringing in more money, but apparently that's not what happened. They said that basically they're not bringing in as much money as they thought they were going to bring in when they first posted the position and hired me for the position. They thought they were just going to increase their income. I guess the stats are just staying where they're at, which is when they first hired me and they can't really afford to pay for my position anymore. I was getting paid $19 an hour and I was only part time. I already had a check written out for $2,100 to give to me. I guess that was to pay up to 3 weeks until I could find a job, which I do appreciate that. But it's just hard because it took me the job that I had before I accepted this offer. It took me 2.5 months to get, and that's with having nothing on my background. It's very frustrating because it's just like these employers don't understand how hard it is to get a job nowadays. Like, it's not how it was back in 2017, 2018, back when I was like 16, 17, getting job offers left and right. Nowadays, it seems like it's a lot harder and they're being more pickier and just being more selective and looking for specific requirements and stuff like that. So to them, it was just like, let her go. Let's cut her a check for $2,100. This should help her for a month to get on her feet until she gets another job offer. But little do they know, it took me 2.5 months to get my last job, and that's with having nothing on my background. You know what I mean? So it's just like these employers don't understand how hard it is nowadays, especially with having to provide for a kid. Like, she relies on me to be able to have, a roof over her head, clothes on her back, food on the table. So it's just, I don't know, it just feels very frustrating. And the more that I'm like waiting now, and I've been applying to jobs like crazy, but I haven't had no luck. I'm hoping I'll have some luck here in the next few days or weeks. I did file unemployment. The only shitty thing about that, they're only wanting to give me 180 a week, which is something which I'm very grateful for. But with all the expenses and bills and my daughter's schooling, everything adds up to about $1,300 a month. If you do the math, that's only giving me like $750 a month. And then how am I supposed to come up with the rest of my bills? You know what I mean? I don't know, so it just feels very shitty. I feel like there's a lot of weight on my shoulder right now. Luckily, I have a car to be able to go interview places, and if I do get a job offer, I'll be able to, like, go to work. So I'm trying to be grateful for the things that I have now. I have a roof over my head. I've got food in the fridge. I'm just trying to be grateful for the things that I have now, but I don't know, I just feel like it's very inconvenient of the way that they did things. Like, I think they could have at least let me know ahead of time that they were not able to afford to pay for my position anymore. So that way I would have time to be looking for something else and not just tell me the day that I'm thinking that everything is fine, I'm doing everything I'm supposed to, everything is good. Like, I was planning on moving out of this apartment that I'm currently in October, and I thought this job would be perfect because of the pay schedule. It works with my daughter's preschool, and so just things like that. Like, everything lined up. I had a plan, and now it's just like I'm back to square one, having to start all over and having to figure things out and having to come up with a plan, and then hoping that this next job won't lay me off like they did, and just hoping that things will just stay in order until I can get out of this place and get into another place, and just things like that. My daughter will be starting kindergarten at the end of the year. She graduates preschool May 31st of this year or September of this year. But I think the smartest thing would be to do is find a place first, um, and then go find her a kindergarten of whatever city I decide to live in. The therapy today, kind of just vented to her and explained my situation. She already knows what's going on, but kind of just looking for advice on what I could do to better my situation and just kind of stay uplifted and not feel so down and depressed. It was out of my control. It's not like something I did to get fired. Again, they just couldn't afford to pay for my position anymore, I guess. But it was just the way they did things and went about things. Like, I think it could have been handled a little bit differently rather than just me expecting to work that whole week, expecting to have a good weekend because it was my birthday weekend, and just not getting high hopes, I guess. I don't know. So it's just frustrating to deal with, and then I'm trying to look at the bright side and just realize that I do have a roof over my head. My daughter has clothes on her back. I do have food in the fridge. I have a car to be able to go interview places, and, you know, I'm able to get unemployment. Just trying to be grateful for the little things. I just kind of just want to share my journey about how things are going for anyone else that might have gotten laid off or is on unemployment. If you have any advice or anything like that during the interview processes that I'm going to be going through to find a new job, this is a small bump in the road. Things will get better. It's just going to take time. There's always a bright side when something's not going your way. It just sucks. Like, that's all I can really say is that it sucks. Like, employers don't understand how much it can affect someone that also has to provide not only for themselves but for their kids. I only have one. Still, it's hard being a single mom and trying to provide for her, but I do the best I can. I feel like I'm doing a really good job. I get told that I'm doing a great job. I want to share my journey with you guys. Feel free to comment down below if you have any questions or anything like that, or if you're kind of going through the same situation. I know things will get better. It's just going to take time and patience, but I'll be able to come back from this. Yeah. Stay tuned for my journey. As I said, like, comment, subscribe. Um, but yeah, I just wanted to share how I was going through things. Bye.